I met Brad at a luncheon and talked to him a little bit about what his business was about. Liked his professionalism, the approach he brought to the business. Didn't have a need at that very moment, but a few months later was looking for a new IT provider. So I called Brad up, had him come in and give a presentation, and really liked their approach to the business. It's much more professional, much more thorough than what I had experienced with my past provider.
We were in the market for an outside consultant. I'm the only IT person in the company, so we were looking for not only somebody to do our backups, but also to help with bigger projects and things of that nature.
When we first signed up with Sentry, they kind of looked everything over, checked out our network, and with some people tinkering with things over the years, just kind of having one set of eyes look at things and make sure everything looked right. We had a couple projects that other companies had worked on. One in particular just went really bad, spent a lot of money, never got it solved right. So they came in and got that fixed for us very inexpensively and took care of a big thorn we had here. And really just got things going off on the right foot to begin with. And then continuing monitoring, maintenance, and helping our employees when they had issues as well.
I met Tom from Sentry. He came up and talked to me for a little bit and asked if I would like to meet with the company and see if they could offer us a solution. So the next person I met with, Tom brought back Brad. I met with Brad and Tom, and we talked in detail about what our needs were, from not only from a backup standpoint, but from an everyday IT standpoint. So everything sounded really good, and it looked like something I was needing. They answered all my questions. I've had enough bad experiences in the past to know what the right things to ask and what the wrong things to ask, so I was able to get that out of the way. They showed me in writing some of the things that they would be doing, and it just sounded a little different than anything I'd been through before.
Initially, Sentry did an assessment of our IT environment, found several areas that needed improvement, and we retained them to then do those improvements. We have gone or went from an environment that was relatively unstable. We had several occasions of our system being down, to an environment, since they completed that work, of almost 98+% uptime.
With Sentry, it's been a constant update, I call it. Chris, my engineer, has reached out to me on every level. He's been available every single time I've reached out to him. We are able to communicate freely, make certain dates to meet. He goes out of his way to be able to abide by my needs. There's been no downtime. There's been no lack of support from them from the get-go. And that's continued all the way till today. There's not been any decrease after we signed up with them and got the contract signed. It's been a constant support function.
Now that we've been with Sentry for a while, they're still helping us, but not as much as they were from the beginning, and that's interesting there. And I talked to Brad about this once. I said, well, I'm paying you all this money. What are you doing for me? And he said, exactly. You don't have any problems anymore. That's what we're doing for you. It's all the stuff I don't realize that they're doing behind the scenes, checking things out. And yeah, I don't see them as often because I don't have any problems to begin with. So that's how they're helping me these days. It's the fact that we have less issues and things are running more smoothly.
I think the thing that motivated us to select Sentry was their professionalism and what I felt very comfortable in the competence of their team, that they knew the technology that we had, they knew other technologies, and stayed current on the technology environment so we wouldn't get too far behind. They keep on top of things and continually bring new things to us, whether we decide to take them or not. At least they're watching the technology environment and making sure that we're aware of what might be able to enhance our capabilities.
The thing that Sentry that put kind of them over the top was being assigned the engineer was a big factor. That, again, this was not something that I've seen with any other companies. The dedication that I was able to experience, I mean, even from the initial, even before signing the papers, the promise of quarterly checks and things like that, that I just wasn't getting. You know, and everything seemed just very natural to them. It seemed like it was as important to them to know my company and know my network as it was to me. So they took a great interest in that, and that was something I didn't see with any of the other companies I dealt with.
When we were looking for a technology partner, I wanted to find somebody that had a professional staff that was available 24/7. Not that we need them 24/7 most times, but we are in retail. We're open Saturday, Sunday, we're open nights. And if I have an urgent matter, knowing that I have somebody on call available. And many places would charge overtime for that. Brad said he'd take care of it. You know, if it's something simple, obviously, they'll fix it during weekday hours. But if I have an urgent matter here, weekends, whatever, I can give them a call and they'll take care of it.
Sentry continually proves to us that they know our environment, they know what's going on in the technology world, and I have a lot of confidence that our systems will continue to run, will be available to us, and we won't have any downtime issues with them monitoring and keeping our systems current and in place.
At this point, I'm very confident in them helping with our changing needs. They've already basically proven this with probably we've done more this year in the IT department than we ever did in the past. We've put a lot of new technology into our servers, put a lot of new technology into our switches, and Sentry's been there every step of the way with the new Unix server, with our new Windows server, and not only just to be there for help of getting this put in, but to add recommendations to, okay, here's the way you have done it in the past. What do you think about this way? You know, do you think that this would help? And that was the things that, in choices that we make in the future for the IT department, that I have to make in the future, having an outside guidance that I can feel confident in, that they've seen and see a lot of different things in the industry, so they get to see what works and they get to see what doesn't work. And taking that knowledge and bringing it to me, it only makes my job easier. So
I would say that anybody who is looking at Sentry to handle their technology, they would be making a great choice. Very thorough people, very competent. You have the CEO is very involved in all of his client relationship. He stays involved in what is going on with your systems, what projects are going on, and there is a dedicated person with backup people if that person is not there, so you know who is going to be handling your account, and it's not just the person of the day that happens to be available.
I would recommend Sentry to any IT person that I've dealt with now or in the future. I've already recommended them. I've already told some of my colleagues about them. That was one of the things I can feel confident in with Sentry, that I can tell anybody about them and feel completely confident that I'm telling somebody, you know, that their experience is going to be like mine.
If someone were to ask me about my experience with Sentry, I'd say it's gone very well. We've been with them about a year now, and they have solved all of our major needs. They're there when we have needs, big or small, and it's definitely made a difference in our business. We've had we call it a new point of sale system, been here almost 6 years now. We've had various issues along the way, and it's nice after 5 years of people always coming to me with problems that my phone rings less often, and now I can focus on more important and less important things for that matter.